I didn't grow up watching Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid, but I've become a fan of the franchise in my adult years. What drew me the most to the television series were the brilliant strategies employed by Yugi to win against seemingly impossible odds. My favorite example of this is from Season 2 during Yugi's duel against Strings. In order to explain how Yugi won, I will be utilizing the rules of war presented by military historian Bevan Alexander in his book How Wars Are Won. Not all 13 rules will necessarily be applicable to the game of Duel Monsters, but the comparison between wars and duels is not as ridiculous as you might think. All competitions involve competitors seeking a better state of affairs for themselves than the one that existed when the competition began. For wars, this can include territorial expansion, a distraction from domestic issues, or elimination of a geopolitical threat. For duels, this can involve monetary gain, increased prestige, or the salvation of others. Since, in the words of Harry Turtledove, quote, "Fiction has to be plausible, all history has to do is happen," the examination of a fictional setting with defined rules that cannot be deviated from will hopefully provide a convenient example for those of you in the audience who might not understand the concepts truly at play when wars are fought, and serve as a springboard for future military history counterfactuals on the channel. The stakes are as follows. Strings, under the control of Merrick, wants to defeat Yugi in a duel to acquire his Millennium Puzzle, banish Yugi to the Shadow Realm, and move one step closer to world domination. Yugi is acting in defense of himself and the entire world, with a bonus that if he defeats Strings, he will obtain the Egyptian god card Slifer the Sky Dragon. On Strings' first turn, he sets one card face down and summons Humanoid Slime in attack mode. In response, Yugi chooses to set one card face down and summons Gazelle, the king of mythical beasts, a monster with 1500 attack points. However, he does not attack despite his monster being stronger. Yugi guesses that since Humanoid Slime is a weak monster, Merrick is attempting to induce Yugi to attack it and then disrupt the attack with his face down card. Strings summons Worm Drake in attack mode and activates Polymerization, fusing Worm Drake and Humanoid Slime to create Humanoid Worm Drake, a monster strong enough to destroy Gazelle and reduce Yugi's life points by 700. He then reveals that his face-down card was the spell card Quick Attack. This card allows Strings' newly fused monster to attack on the same turn it's summoned, something fusion monsters normally cannot do. Yugi could have attacked Humanoid Slime with Gazelle, destroyed it, and caused Strings to lose 700 life points with no negative repercussions. Merrick's deception turned a harmless spell card into a potentially more dangerous card, thereby shielding his monster with effectively nothing, since Yugi was unwilling to risk attacking with a face-down card on the field. According to Sun Tzu, all warfare is based on deception, and Merrick utilized it excellently to protect his weak monster from Yugi's stronger monster. Strings orders his Humanoid Worm Drake to attack Gazelle, but Yugi activates his face-down card Defusion. This card separates Humanoid Worm Drake back into its component monsters, Humanoid Slime and Worm Drake, and canceled the attack. Yugi had identified Merrick's strategy and successfully countered it, leaving Strings with no face-down cards and two monsters weaker than Gazelle. Yugi summons Beta the Magnet Warrior in attack mode, giving him two monsters on the field and two opportunities to attack. Beta destroys Worm Drake, then Gazelle destroys Humanoid Slime, cutting Strings' life points by 1000 and leaving no monsters on his side of the field. By inducing Merrick to use his face-down card, attack under seemingly advantageous conditions, neutralizing those conditions and then counterattacking successfully, Yugi followed the second rule of war: defend, then attack. Strings then summons Revival Jam in defense mode, a monster made of plasma that cannot be destroyed by a direct attack. He then activates Jam Breeding Machine, which summons one slime token each turn, and then sets one card face down. Yugi immediately identifies Merrick's plan. Once 3 slime tokens have been summoned, they can be sacrificed to summon Slifer the Sky Dragon. Yugi responds by sacrificing Beta and Gazelle to summon Buster Blader, a significantly stronger monster he had drawn earlier in the duel. Yugi, forgetting that Revival Jam cannot be destroyed by direct attacks, had Buster Blader attack Revival Jam to no avail. Both Yugi and Merrick followed the 6th rule of war, employ a superior weapon, but it was not the time for Yugi to apply this rule. Strings then activates Jam Breeding Machine to summon the first slime token, sets the card face down, and ends his turn. Yugi then identifies a flaw in Merrick's plan and a path to victory. His slime tokens are weak enough for Buster Blader to destroy them and reduce Strings' life points by 2100, allowing for Strings to be defeated in just 2 turns. Yugi is using the first rule of war, striking at enemy weakness. However, Merrick proceeds to use the 6th rule yet again. When Buster Blader attacks, Merrick activates one of his face-down cards, Jam Defender. This card forces the invincible Revival Jam to absorb all of Yugi's attacks. In addition, unlike most trap cards that go to the graveyard after being used, Jam Defender is a continuous trap, meaning it stays on the field indefinitely. Merrick has thus made all of Strings' monsters immune to direct attacks. Jam Breeding Machine summons a second slime token, then Merrick plays the spell card, Nightmare Steel Cage, preventing Yugi from attacking for the next 2 turns. Yugi now has no means to prevent Slifer the Sky Dragon from being summoned, and ends his turn without doing anything. Jam Breeding Machine summons the third and final slime token, allowing Merrick to sacrifice the Jam Breeder and the slime tokens to summon Slifer the Sky Dragon. Slifer's attack points are determined by the formula X equals 1000Y, where X is the attack points and Y is the number of cards in the player's hand. Thus, with 2 cards in Strings' hand, Slifer has 2000 attack points. After activating the magic card Pot of Greed, which allows Strings to draw 2 cards from the top of his deck and add them to his hand, Slifer's attack points increase to 3000. Since Buster Blader gives 500 attack points for each dragon on the field, Yugi's monster is still stronger than Strings. However, Buster Blader can't destroy Slifer due to the Nightmare Steel Cage, preventing Yugi from attacking. For now, he places 2 cards face down and summons Karibo in defense mode. Since 2 turns have passed, the Nightmare Steel Cage wears off and Strings draws 1 card, increasing Slifer's attack points to 4000. Slifer would have destroyed Buster Blader had it not been for Yugi's trap card Light Force Sword, removing 1 card from Strings' hand for the remainder of the turn. Thus, Buster Blader was stronger, but still couldn't destroy Slifer due to Jam Defender causing Revival Jam to block the attack. Here, Yugi violated the 6th rule by forgetting that Revival Jam could still block his attacks. Strings then activates Card of Safe Return, allowing him to draw 3 cards whenever Revival Jam reforms itself, giving Slifer 5000 attack points, more than enough to destroy Buster Blader and make Yugi lose 1900 life points. Yugi responds by sacrificing Karibo to summon Peak Magician Girl in defense mode. However, this activates Slifer's second mouth.
What that mouth do?
It automatically eliminates 2000 points from whichever mode the summon monster is in. Since Peak Magician Girl only has 1700 defense points, she would have been destroyed had it not been for Yugi activating Magical Hats. He also places 2 cards beneath the hats, setting up a counterattack against Slifer. But destroying Slifer won't be so easy. Normally, a player can only hold 6 cards in their hand, so in theory, Slifer's attack points are capped at 6000. But with the Infinite Card spell card, Strings can hold as many cards in his hand as he wants, making Slifer's attack points theoretically infinite. Slifer attacks the right hat with Thunder Force, destroying the hat that 3 cards were under: Peak Magician Girl, Spellbinding Circle, and Magic Cylinder. Spellbinding Circle weakens Slifer's attack points, while Magic Cylinder redirects Thunder Force back at Slifer. This would have been an excellent utilization of the 2nd rule had Yugi not violated the 6th rule once again. Revival Jam blocks the Thunder Force and revives itself, allowing Strings to draw 3 more cards. Combined with the card drawn at the beginning of the turn of the Spellbinding Circle wearing off, Slifer's attack points are now 9000. Merrick has utilized the 6th rule of war to create an invincible position for Strings. His offense is more than enough to obliterate any of Yugi's monsters, while Yugi cannot hope to pierce his defense. He places 1 card face down and summons Big Shield Gardna in defense mode. By summoning a monster, Slifer's second mouth activates, reducing Gardna's defense points by 2000. With another card and Light Force Sword's effect gone, Slifer's attack points reach 11,000, more than enough to destroy Gardna. But Yugi has finally identified a surefire way to destroy Slifer using multiple rules of war that won't fall prey to another violation of the 6th rule of war. He activates his face down card Monster Reborn to resurrect Buster Blader in attack mode. This triggers the Card of Safe Return, allowing Strings to draw 3 cards and giving Slifer 14,000 attack points. Then Slifer's second mouth shaves 2,000 attack points from Buster Blader. Despite the 12,900 point difference, Yugi has Buster Blader attack Slifer. Jam Defender forces Revival Jam to block Buster Blader's attack. Just as Revival Jam revives itself, Yugi then activates the magic card Brain Control, not to take control of Slifer, who is immune to magic cards regardless, but to take control of Revival Jam. Revival Jam's revival triggers the Card of Safe Return, giving Slifer 17,000 attack points, more than enough to wipe out Buster Blader and Yugi's life points. However, Slifer's second mouth forces it to attack Revival Jam, which then revives itself, triggering the Card of Safe Return, and Slifer's second mouth once again. Merrick is now trapped in an infinite loop of being forced to draw cards while unable to lower Yugi's life points until Strings runs out of cards to draw and automatically loses the duel as a result. Yugi used the 2nd rule of war, defend then attack, combined with the 6th rule of war, employ a superior weapon, and the 8th rule of war, blocking the enemy's retreat. Thus, by correctly applying the rules of war, Yugi overcame a statistical disadvantage and achieved a better state of affairs for himself than the one that existed when the duel began. And if he can do it, not only can countries do it, but you can do it too. If you wish to learn more about the rules of war, including the 9 rules not discussed in this video, read How Wars Are Won by Bevan Alexander for yourself. I'm the Counterfactor, and thanks for watching.
Big bang bankroll, got cheat codes. Certified in the hood, boy, they all know. Don't be asking y'all that you gotta know to know. Got a pocket full of cash, so the whole boat. See, I've been thugging since a young and I ain't got a bang. My name been rigging bows since I was like 14. Been service stacking from all of the dope fiends. And I ain't tripping, y'all could get it, you ain't get from me.